Fans of the superhero genre of TV shows and movies have long debated who is the greatest or strongest superhero of them all. Both Marvel and DC fans respectively have put forward their own arguments through the years. But how do the strongest Marvel superheroes stack up against the strongest DC superheroes? Today, we're discussing who the strongest superheroes of all time are by comparing Marvel's stable with DC's. Stay tuned. Let's jump straight in and compare flying bricks. Many people's favorite characters from both studios. There are obvious comparisons between Superman and Captain Marvel. The pair are often considered two of the best superheroes from their respective stables and even boast some super similar powers. They're both incredibly stubborn too and would never be seen to quit on whatever missions they are on. However, we're of the opinion that if the two were to face off in a duel, then Superman would come out on top given his incredibly powerful punch. Of course, both can fly and levitate, but Superman's powers would almost certainly outweigh those of Captain Marvel's. He has also fought a who's who of bad guys over his long and storied career, and there's no substitute for experience, right? Next up, we're comparing inventors. Stay with us. As we all know, Tony Stark is one of the most ingenious inventors from any comic book series in history, and when going up against DC's comparative character in the form of Batman, then there is only really one winner. Although Bruce Wayne is certainly famous for his nifty inventions, Stark just about shades this one with his legendary suits. He's also invented awesome gadgets such as the anti-gravity device, the enervation intensifier, and the new element, Badassium. Of course, Batman is no slouch when it comes to inventions, designing the Bat computer, the sonic bat call, and the grapple gun, amongst many other things. But Stark's inventions have been completely game-changing across the whole Marvel universe. What do you guys make of this? We're discussing sorcerers now. Stay tuned. Even before the recent Doctor Strange movies, the titular character was quite when comparing him to his DC counterpart in the shape of Zatanna, we would probably have to give this one to Dr. Stephen Strange. The Sorcerer Supreme actually goes out of his way to fight off evil gods and other entities on a daily basis, and even managed to come out of a 5,000-year-long war in one piece. Of course, Zatanna is able to generate heat, cold, and electricity amongst other things, but must use a process known as logomancy, speaking backwards, to summon her powers. Strange simply has to use some simple hand gestures to manipulate foes with his sorcery, which gives him a small but significant time advantage. And now, who's the best king? We're comparing T'Challa from the Kingdom of Wakanda with his submerged royal DC counterpart, Arthur Curry, ruler of the Kingdom of Atlantis. Curry, or Aquaman as he is best known, is also the wielder of Poseidon's trident, which gives him a significant advantage over T'Challa. If this battle between the two kings was ever to come to fruition, we would almost certainly have to back Arthur Curry, as his armies of Atlantis would simply be too much for the defenders of Wakanda. Even if the pair were to come head-to-head in a one-on-one matchup, Black Panther would be no match for Aquaman, who is one of the fastest superheroes out there, even catching the Flash, Barry Allen, off guard at one point. Who would you guys have if these two threw down? Next up, we're talking about the scariest scientists. Stay with us. Hank Pym and Rami the Guardian are both pretty scary characters in their own rights, and both more than capable of doing something extreme. Pym was the brains behind the Ant-Man suit, as well as Ultron, but on the other hand, Rami the Guardian designed the Green Lantern rings and the Phantom Ring. Of course, all of these achievements are epic in their own right, and we don't need to explain how significant something like Ultron or the Phantom Ring is. But Rami's ability to harness space magic is uber impressive, and he also then managed to put it into a handheld device. Rami's Green Lantern rings have much more scientific prowess than anything Hank Pym has created, so for this reason, he is the scariest or most intelligent scientist. What do you guys think? Let us know below. What about the best archer then? Let's discuss. Hawkeye shot to prominence with his own TV show last year, but DC have their own version of a hotshot archer in the form of Green Arrow. This one basically comes down to the type of ammunition the pair both carry, and while Green Arrow has some pretty awesome tools in his arsenal, such as the net arrow, scatter arrow, and his epic boxing glove arrow, Hawkeye has the insane adamantium and vibranium arrows, which give him the edge. You only have to think back to the recent TV series. How many times did you see Clint Barton miss his target? Not many, right? He will sometimes take a shot which others might not, just to set up a situation which further benefits him. Green Arrow doesn't tend to think in this way, which is why we have to name Hawkeye as the best archer. Who's your favorite archer out of these two? Let us know below. The Battle of the Speedsters is up next. Stay tuned. Of course, both Wally West and Pietro Maximoff are their respective universes' quickest characters and are better known as the Flash and Quicksilver respectively. West uses what is known as the Speed Force to generate his insanely quick ability, even outrunning the Black Racer at one point when he was in a bit of a sticky situation. He was so quick that he he was able to run to the end of time and back, which, as you can probably imagine, is pretty quick. While Quicksilver is obviously very fast in his own right, he's not quite on the same level as the Flash. Wally's feats border on the insane, and he's able to scan huge areas in just picoseconds in order to defend himself. And it's for things like this that the Flash quite easily takes this one. We're discussing the greatest mythological character now. Stay with us. Comic books and studios have given their readers and fans more and more mythical characters over the years, and two of the greatest are Marvel's Thor and DC's Wonder Woman. There are plenty of others milling about in their respective realms, but these two are the heaviest of heavy hitters. Both of these characters have taken on and defeated superhero luminaries such as Hulk, Thor, and Superman, Wonder Woman. So, they've both proven they are capable of taking down the very best. These two characters are so similar that just like the Archers, their weaponry is the key factor here. While Wonder Woman is the proud owner of weapons such as the Lasso of Truth and the Flying Tiara, these simply pale in comparison to Thor's Mjolnir, which is why we have to score this particular matchup in favor of Marvel's Thor. What about greatest mutations then? Similar to Hank Pym and Rami, Spider-Man and Dr. Manhattan are both scientists and have also experienced dreadful mutations in their earlier careers as scientists. Of course, Spidey was bitten by a spider, and Dr. Manhattan was able to morph into a god. Whilst Manhattan is undoubtedly stronger than Spider-Man, Peter Parker is one of the most resilient characters in the whole comic book genre. Forever the underdog, he comes out on top more often than not, and for this reason is probably the character with the best mutational powers. And finally, who is the superior soldier? Let's see. This one pits Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, against Steve Rogers, Captain America. The pair both share quite a similar origin story, having both taken on a huge pressure and gift. Green Lantern, of course, was given the Green Lantern ring, while Captain America was provided with a super soldier serum. Captain America probably has superior morals and also is a greater leader, but on the battlefield, this is trumped by things like Green Lantern's willpower. This brings us to our final score, 5-5, meaning it's a draw. In conclusion, of course both Marvel and DC have characters who can outshine their comparisons from the other comics, so we would suggest that there's no one definitively stronger studio when comparing superheroes. However, it is nice to see how they stack up against each other in different categories, which we've done today. We hope you enjoyed it. As usual, thanks for joining us, and remember to stop by again next time for more fun and games. And why not do us a solid by liking and sharing today's video, while also subscribing to our channel, so you don't miss out on more great content in the future. Bye guys!